and you have a good relationship with him, then you will understand that. And if you didn't have any understanding on it, then I hope you do now. When God is removing things from your life, when God is removing people from your life, please allow him to do that. Don't go back and pick up that baggage. Don't go back and pick those same things up. Don't go back and bring those same people into your life, because we will do that. We're human. We're not perfect. We're God's children. We're like children. And a lot of times we do the same thing over and over and over, just like our kids do. How many times have you told your son or daughter to go in there and clean their room or cut the TV off before they leave? And every time you come in that room, they're gone and the TV is still on. They're hard-headed. And that's the way we are sometimes with God. There will be something that he tells us to do, and we'll turn around and do it again. Or he'll tell us to stay away from someone. Look, I've removed this person out of your life. They're no good for you. You know that they're no good for you. But you are so used to doing the same thing the same way with this same person, or you're so used to the comfortability of having this same person in your life that you continue to go back and bring that person in your life. Whether that person brings turmoil or not. For whatever reason, God removed that person from your life. It's not for us to sit and depict every detail, and it's not for us to question and ask God why. Because no matter how much you want that person, if that's not what God has for you, you're not going to get it. No matter how much you want that Lamborghini, if that's not what God has for you, you're not going to get it. You're going to receive what he has for you. So don't ever think that you lost out. It's just a new opportunity. It's just an open door. It's just called growth. It's called life growth. Everyone cannot go with you. Sometimes what God has given you or that blessing is for you. It's not for everybody else. It's not for everybody that you're trying to take with you. And if you do it, it will definitely put a pause on your movement to that next level, wherever he's taking you to. But he's going to remove that person again, or he's going to remove that thing again until you get it. And once you got it, you can move on. Okay? So that's that. Negative individuals, a negative space will do nothing but bring you down. Not only will negative individuals bring you down, but they will keep you down. So, if you have created a positive space, or if you're working on creating a positive space in your life, you have to understand that anyone and anything in any situation, I don't care if it's a job, if you know that every time you go to this job you deal with nothing but negativism, work on getting yourself a new job. There's plenty of jobs out here. Sure, you have bills to pay, but something negative only lasts for so long before it brings you down and keeps you down. And it brings so many negative aspects and situations in your life. It's no good, and negativity is unhealthy. So you have to do what you can to create a positive space. And one of the first things that you have to do is to remove negative individuals from your space. If you have a friend, it could be a co-worker, it doesn't matter who it is, and every time you and this person gets together, you argue, it's okay to not see eye to eye, but an excess of argument is no good. That's definitely negative. If you're dating someone and the only thing you guys do is argue, because sometimes you get to that point with your mate, or you get to that point in a relationship, in any kind of relationship, where you're just not getting along. Sometimes you have to remove yourself. Sometimes you have to remove that person out of your life. It doesn't mean that you don't love them, but at whatever point in your life, or whatever you guys are going through, you can't get along. You may not be meant, but If you're not getting along, it's negativism, and it's a negative space. So you have to remove yourself in order to create a positive space. Anything negative in your life makes it almost impossible for you to keep your head above water. So just, be careful with that. When we have individuals in our life, for when we get to know people, or we start dating someone, or getting to know a coworker, be careful about negative, that negative space. Anything that is negative is definitely going to hold you down. And it could be something as simple as, like I said, hanging out with coworkers. You might have to change who you hang out with. You might have to change who you date, or change the type of people that you date. You might have to change where you hang out at. Creating your own space, creating your own positive space is about people, places, and things. So if you need to change that, then change that. If you need to change the people you're around, that's fine. If you need to change the places, that's fine. Because negativity, it turns into that negative space. That negative space, that turns into stress. Stress turns into depression. Negativity brings a lot of things in your life that are no good. So once you work on changing your people that you're around, you work on changing places and changing things, then you're definitely on the right road to creating a positive space. Our environments, which ties in with places, the environmental changes have a lot to do with that negative space. You have to change your environment. If you know the area that you live in is a bad area, or a bad neighborhood, or your kids are always fighting with the neighbors, or the kids, they can't go out to the bus stop without a bunch of mess going on, or you have loud argumentative neighbors. That's no good. That's not a good environment for you. It's not a good environment for your children. Sometimes even music, we have to change the type of music that we listen to, or if you're going through something in particular, you may have to, sometimes listen to inspirational songs. I'm a music artist, so I love all types of music. I love feel-good music. But I'm a very, very big fan of hip-hop and R&B. I'm an R&B artist, and I work with a lot of hip-hop artists. So rap, I love it. And I listen to music with cussing and profanity. I'm not perfect. But at the same time, it does not mean that you're a negative person because you curse, or because you listen to music that has cursing in it. But definitely, if you are going through something, or maybe you're just feeling down for the day, your music does create a certain type of space, and it makes you feel a certain type of way. So when I start my day out, after my prayer, of course. I start my day out listening to my own music. And sometimes not, because my music, it's love music. Some people call it love music, but it's definitely about love, but it is feel-good music. It's soothing music, and it's sexy. So 9 times out of 10, a lot of times, that's the type of music you're going to listen to in the evening or at night. But it doesn't matter, because I'm my biggest fan, of course. So I can listen to my music at any time. But a lot of the stations that air me in Chicago, I know for sure I'm played at nighttime. And there's many stations that I know, especially in Atlanta, Georgia, and some of the southern states, they play me during the day, throughout the day, and the evening as well. So, but I listen to a lot of gospel too. I have my choice. I like a lot of Mary Mary. gospel, and I start my day off listening to Mary Mary Walking. That's one of my favorite songs. So if I feel like I need that extra push, then I'm going to go to YouTube and click on my sound bar and cut on Mary Mary Walking. I love that song. Mary Mary, I like a lot of Whitney Houston songs and stuff like that. So basically, music is one of our biggest influencers. So sometimes if you're having problems dealing with things, change your music, or pop on some gospel, or pop on some inspirational music. Check out some videos of motivational speakers and inspirational things and stuff like that on Facebook, online, or on IG. I'm a big Steve Harvey fan, so I listen to Steve Harvey a lot. Judge Mathis, I like him, and he sends a lot of positive messages and stuff during his show as well. Even though he puts a lot of humor in it and stuff like that, it's not about the delivery, it's about the message that is delivered. So as long as you can obtain that message, it's not about the delivery. I'm a big fan of the music artist and motivational speaker Nino Brown. I love him. And in a lot of his videos, his deliverance is hard. It's very, very hardcore. He cusses and all that, or whatever, but he keeps it real. And I love it. And there's a lot of things that he speaks about that I've gone through myself upon, I'm pretty sure, other people, because he has millions of listeners. But his deliverance, I love his deliverance, but there are people that look at it, and because you deliver motivation and inspiration, they expect everything to be perfect. Prayer is very, very big in my life. I have a great relationship with God, but it doesn't mean that I don't say a cuss word. It doesn't mean that I've never had a drink of alcohol. I don't currently drink, but it doesn't mean that I've never had a drink in my life, or, socially or something like that. So don't think that these people are perfect, and don't think that they have to be perfect to deliver a message, because it doesn't work like that. Also, when creating a positive space, it's all about how we think, speak, and how we move. So, that the things that we think about throughout the day, they determine how we're going to act and how we're going to handle certain situations. So if you're always thinking negatively, most likely you're going to make negative decisions. You're going to move in a negative manner. So try to think about positive things. If there's something that's been eating away at you, or, something not so much negative, but maybe you're having a confrontation, or you're in confliction with someone, try to do something to take that off your mind. Because when you think about negative things, or you think about harmful things that people have done to you, they make you angry. And a lot of times we can think on things for way too long and become way too angry and make a decision that we would not have made if we were not in that state of mind. So it's like when we think too hard, especially on negative things, we do tend to make improper decisions, because thinking too long on something that's negative, or something that's harmful or that's hurtful, can definitely take your mind in many different places. So you want to be careful on that. You also want to be careful on how you speak. Speaking negatively. Sometimes I scan, the feed on IG and just look for positive things. If I'm in a certain mood, I look for positive things to read, or I might click onto an inspirational group or something like that and see what they have posted and read. Or sometimes I write. So it's all about how we think, how we speak, and how we move. If you're thinking, speaking, and moving in a negative manner, it's going to keep you in a negative space. You can't expect to create a positive space. You can't expect to receive positive results in your life or any situation